You went away for a second. Did that
I didn't
change?
do. I didn't even do anything. I
Okay.
was just changing the brightness on my screen.
Okay. Well, we're live. So everybody got to see
Hi.
a little bit of behind the scenes. But so I'll just go ahead and start the show. So welcome to the Dirt Trail Running Podcast. My name is Michele Hartwig, and I am your host. I am also a race director for many Midwest trail races like Kettle Moraine 100, Hennepin 100, and in 2021 we got Midwest States 100 coming. And I am here with my co-host Krystal The Pistol.
Hey everyone. I was trying to change the brightness on my phone and then my Zoom screen went out. So that's what you got to see in the beginning. Just me messing things up as usual.
No, you did good. Krystal being a pistol, but that wasn't
Uh-huh.
quite Krystal being a pistol. That was just a little behind the scenes of what we do.
Literally just changing the brightness on my phone.
Yeah, she gets much more
Zoom.
feisty than that. So, our guest tonight is Ryan Litwiller. And Ryan has made healthy changes in his life to lose 90 pounds and become an avid runner. And I want to do the intro that Antonio Romano has in here. So he's already here. He's your first fan that's here watching. And he says, I'm ready to see the man, the myth, the legend, Ryan. So welcome to
Woo!
yeah. That sums it up. So welcome to the show,
Well,
Ryan.
thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, so Antonio is part of your complete runner crowd. That's a lot of the people that you run with. Can you talk a little bit? Why don't we just go right into complete runner and who they are? Because I absolutely love that running store.
No, they're awesome. So they are a running shop in Flint, Michigan, a couple miles from my house, and I met Antonio probably last year at a couple races, and we just kind of kept our connection. And he keeps on inviting me to all these group runs, and he won't stop until I come, pretty much. So, but he's one of those guys where and just the store, they're just so friendly, so helpful. They want to see everybody succeed. They want to just connect you with other people who can help, and it's just a great community. And what's funny is so we can get back into this, but when the Hennepin officially canceled, the first phone call that I had was Antonio, and he left me a voicemail, and he said, "Ryan, I'm so sorry that the race canceled. I know that you were looking forward to it. I talked with Brad, the owner of Complete Runner, and we want to support you in doing a 100-mile run if you still want to do it." And that just blew me away.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Both Antonio and
Mm-mm.
Brad are amazing. And anybody listening, so Antonio runs the 50-mile finish line,
Hi,
and
Antonio.
he has just brought so much great energy to that, and he does that with the Yetis. And
Mhm.
I met Antonio, like this isn't the Antonio show, which now it's becoming, which we need to have. But I met him up in Michigan, and he's just so authentically kind and just wants to help everybody. Like he is an absolute treasure of Michigan, and we feel very honored that he is on the OMR team. And you're lucky that your paths crossed with him, Ryan.
Oh no, it's I know that my experience would have been totally different if it wouldn't have been for him and all of the Complete Runner Ultra crew, and just everybody just came together, and it was just truly amazing. So
Yeah, I
I
do
see.
want to.
I see a.
Oh,
Oh, go
go
ahead.
ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I just wanted to say, like, I don't live in Michigan. I've never been to Complete Runner, but I see stuff that's posted on Facebook all the time about Complete Runner, and what an amazing group. Like, I'm ready to take a road trip up to Flint and check it out because y'all are awesome up there. Truly, you're supportive of each other. You're helpful. You guys put on some really cool runs. Just keep doing good, Complete Runner. Keep doing good.
Yeah, maybe we should see about doing a road trip up there, running on some of those trails, and maybe doing a podcast with those guys at the shop. We can get Lil Roe to come with us, and that would be fun. So Antonio, I hope he now he's quiet, But yeah, so we're after that. But let's get to Ryan and his story, and thank goodness for amazing, amazing people like Antonio and Complete Runner, Brad Brown, and all that group there. But Ryan, you've had, you've made a huge transformation in your life, and got to running. I kind of want to start. I want people to understand where you came from. Like, what happened? When did you make this transformation, and what caused that?
So in early 2019, I found myself about 300 pounds, just being diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. And I kind of knew that this was coming, but it's one of those things that um, unfortunately I just needed to be punched in the face, before I did something about it. And I told myself that I wouldn't let it get to this point, but then I just, the first of 2019, I just found myself in that situation. Um, just a lot of bad habits, stressful jobs over the year, things like that. I just found myself in that situation. Just diagnosed with type 2 diabetes. Also had fatty liver. I had been on high cholesterol medication for a couple years at that point as well. So the road that I was going down um, was not a road um, that I wanted to go down long term. I think a lot of people at that point, unfortunately, just accept the fate, of that, and just take the medication and kind of coast on, with life. But at that point, I was just, I was like, I don't want to be living on medication for the rest of my life. There has to be more. This isn't my best life if I'm reliant on that. And I know too many people who, unfortunately, are in that situation. So at that point, I just was like, enough's enough. I need to make a change. I need to do something. So right around Valentine's Day, I committed, and I tried to first get my mindset right, and just get in that mindset of, this is going to be hard. This is going to be a long, long road, to go down. But I need to do it. I need to start with my lifestyle, and this isn't just a diet, that I'm going to have today and be off, you know, in a couple months or whatever. This has to be a permanent change to keep, to have a permanent result, kind of thing. So totally changed my diet, went plant-based, um, and then just started being active, started walking, eventually started running. And within about 10 to 12 weeks from that, starting that transformation, I actually was able to reverse the type 2 diabetes. Um, and that was just kind of the start of everything.
That's amazing. I'm wondering, like, what kind of research did you do? How did you know how to do this? And also, how did you know how to get into that right mindset? Did you have help?
That's a great question. I think so. It's a long story, but so actually, the a few months before, I had applied for some like life insurance type thing, and they make you take a medical test, right? And I took it and I failed the test. But then I had this like 3-page report that tells me like why you failed, kind of, but it's not in English. You know what I mean? It's like in doctor talk, and like I don't know how to understand it. So they're like, well, just go to your doctor. They'll tell you. So I'm stubborn, right? And I didn't go to the doctor, but I knew that something was wrong. So it's almost like I had a couple months to think about it, but I guess, I don't know if I was just scared or just stubborn or whatever.
Were you
But
feeling okay?
I was feeling fine. Yeah. I had a scare a couple years before, like a blood clot issue, which was kind of unrelated to this. But I was feeling okay, but I just knew that something was wrong. And then I actually took the medical test again, because then part of me said, well, maybe it's nothing, maybe it's just a bad read. And then I failed again. And then that's when the guy actually told me, um, you have diabetes. And my A1C, which is like the predictor level of that was like 10, and it should be like, I believe it should be like under 6. So I was way out of range. and it could have, if I would have let it um, continue, you know, at that level, it could have been like really, really serious. But I think just having that time to kind of think of like, okay, something isn't right. And then I had you know, seen some health issues several years before with my dad with diabetes and things like that, and I kind of told myself like I wasn't going to let this happen, you know, kind of to me. And then I think it was just all those things coming, you know, coming together at once, and and it just hit me, and I was just like, I have to do something about this. Like I didn't. So when I found out, I actually took about 2 weeks, and I did do a lot of research. I was like, you know, looking up diets and things like that, just to because I had heard that with a plant-based diet that you could actually reverse disease and diabetes. And I first started out doing keto, and I know some people have success with that. For me, I just was not. I went to the gym and I thought I was gonna like pass out. It was like super um, for me, just not good. And then I just couldn't, if my cholesterol was high, I just couldn't imagine eating only bacon and meat and things like that. Like it just didn't make, you know, make sense. So I just, some guys at work were actually plant-based, and they kind of, you know, I had always said like, you know, like I'm never doing anything like that. Like I can never, I could, you know, like I love meat too much. You know, I could never not eat meat again. Um, but I found myself in that situation, and all of the research and books and so forth and stuff I found online, you know, led to that direction, and it, you know, it did the trick. So.
So what was your diet like typically before that? Was like cheeseburgers, yeah, like
Yep. Everything, everything and anything, pizza, burgers, big, you know, big portion sizes, you know, late night I'm hungry, you know, open up a bag of chips and, you know, maybe half the bag's gone, maybe the whole bag's gone, you know, stuff like that. Um, it's hard for me to stop when I start, you know, on binge eating, things like that. So, um,
and it doesn't fill you because it doesn't have the nutrition that you need, so you continue to be hungry.
exactly. It's just a cycle, and you want more, and it was just not, you know, um, just not a, you know, not a good situation.
And so then you transitioned like right away, just cold turkey to a vegetarian or vegan.
So so the first 2 weeks I tried keto, and then as I mentioned that I didn't feel like that was the best thing for me. So then after those 2 weeks, I went pretty much cold turkey vegan, and that was quite the process. It was very, very challenging. I was very ornery, and my family can attest to that. It was um, it was very, very challenging to go cold turkey, but I knew for me that I had to, you know, like I don't know. Um, and I remember very clearly, you know, just being just crabby, and my wife was getting frustrated with me because I was just complaining about it, and she was like, just go eat a cheeseburger, just do it. And it just really put me in my place, you know, and I was just like, you know, I need to be better, you know, than that. I need to suck it up, and just, you know, just find a way to get it done. And obviously it as time has passed, it's, you know, gotten easier, and I've found different recipes, and, you know, and things like that. But man, it was a major challenge at the beginning.
I imagine that's a lot more. You must be prepping for your day. Do you work outside the house?
Yeah, yeah. So there's definitely a lot more planning, a lot more fresh food, you know, and a lot more planning for that, so the food doesn't go to waste, and cutting and slicing and things like that, which I had never done before. So
What does a typical day look like for you? Do you get up in the morning and get prepared for the rest of the day?
um, um, like in terms of food
Yeah,
or
like getting ready for your nutrition for the day. Because I think, I mean, I think a lot of people would love to try a plant based diet. Like, how do they get to that? Like, what do they need to do to what kind of system do they need to get into?
yeah. So like this works for me. It might not work for everybody, but like in the morning, I love oatmeal with bananas and raisins, things like that. I could eat oatmeal every meal a day pretty much, and I have at times. But oatmeal or like a whole grain cereal with almond milk. Those are really good. For lunch, I'm just um, I, it's hard to try to be convenient but yet healthy, at the same time. So that's definitely a challenge. If we do prep the night before, I'll just take extras, to work. If not, I will have microwave like rice, like whole grain rice and beans or some sort of vegetable like that, and just put them in the microwave and mix them. So for me, I found that like the lunch and dinner, I really enjoy either potatoes or sweet potatoes or brown rice. And then it's like a bowl, right? Kind of like a Chipotle bowl, just beans, corn, but any sort of vegetables. Just pile it on with that. Use salsa or some sort of, sauce, and just mix it all together. And
Did you have any favorite cookbooks that you found?
not necessarily. I know there's so I'm pretty simple. I know that some people get they find a new recipe and they go on a hunt for all their ingredients, and they have to drive an hour to go to Whole Foods and to find the perfect thing and spend the afternoon preparing it. So I'm not like that. um, you know I'm pretty content with just a bunch of vegetables, just throw them in a bowl and mix them up, and I'm good to go. So
It sounds delicious to me.
Mhm.
And what about the rest of your family? Did they were they uh, vegans before?
no. eh, so I think that my journey has definitely brought, I want to say, awareness, maybe, and just maybe just brought a sense of overall healthiness maybe to the home. I would say we're probably eating a lot more vegetables and fruits and things like that now, the entire family than before. And at times there's quite a bit. There's two meals, my meal and the rest of the family's meal. Um, my wife will a lot of the times eat, the same that I am, but it's been a challenge. But I think overall, it's a healthier change for everybody. So
Yeah, that's. I mean, I'm amazed. I didn't realize that it was early 2019 that this happened. I've always known you as this great athlete that just crushed his first 100 miler, and so that was very fast. Like, I mean, the vegan lifestyle sounds really interesting. I'm wondering, like, what advice would you give somebody that's thinking of, like that you learned and wants to be healthy, maybe has like, like it's really easy to go just kind of give up, like your wife was saying, just go have a cheeseburger. Like, what advice would you give somebody to stay on course and not give up?
I think I had mentioned mindset before. I really think it just comes down, you have to tell yourself that you're going to do it, and you have to kind of just almost like the mindset that you have like when you go into a race or an ultra. Like, you kind of have to have that mindset with this. Like, you have to see the outcome. You have to plan it out. You have to know, like, I need to take these steps to get here. And just like an ultra, like, I could have a different plan than you or somebody else. We each have a plan that works for us. So I think it's just kind of deciding what that is. For some people, it might be just instead of going through the drive-through at McDonald's every day for breakfast, maybe I'll start to eat oatmeal every day. And they do that for a couple weeks or a month, and that could be a huge, huge win, for somebody. For somebody else that was like me, they might have to decide to go cold turkey and really, suffer for a couple weeks to, to do that. But I think it just gets down to just, having that plan in your head and then just executing it, and just like a race, you just keep on it until you complete it.
About how long in this transition did you realize, you know what, I can do this? Like, this is working. Like, when did you start seeing, weight loss? When did you start feeling comfortable with the diet?
So immediately the weight dropped. Like, yeah, I was, so there had been times in my life before where I tried to diet, right? And I just could never lose weight. But I really wouldn't diet. I would just like exercise, like, oh, I'm gonna try to be more active or whatever. But I was convinced that for me to lose weight and to reverse this, that it had to be food first and then exercise. Like, food was more important than exercise. And actually, right away, I had lost. I mean, the first week, I think I lost 10 pounds. Second week, probably 8 pounds. So I mean, the weight um, was just flying off me. So that definitely helped and was a huge encouragement that I was, going down the right path.
And when did you start to feel comfortable? Like, so that, like, 2 weeks in, you lost 18 pounds. Were you starting to feel comfortable with the diet, or did you still have days that you were like, oh, I just want to, like, do what has been normal for me for the past 10 years or whatever?
Yeah, no. I would say it probably was a good 2 or 3 months really before I really started to be like get in that routine and like, okay, like this is the new normal, kind of, if that makes sense. So it was a while. It was definitely a while.
But I'm glad you said that because it's not always instant gratification. You can't just do something for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, oh, it's not working. Oh, I'm going to quit. Like, you really have to be committed to it for months to be comfortable with it. Yes, you might have seen those changes right away, but to get into the mindset of the lifestyle, it takes a long time. And I think that's why a lot of people start it and give up after even a month because it's not for me, it's not working, I don't like this, but you really got to stick to it. So you've got a great mindset to stick with it, and I'm like super proud of you.
Yeah. No,
Yeah,
Like,
thank
I'm
you.
feeling very inspired right now by you.
yeah, it's a great story, and also, like, like, you lost 18 pounds. There's a lot of people that'd be like, oh, good job, pat on the back, like, oh,
Mm-hmm.
now go have ice cream. Like, so, because you earned it. You did
Mm-hmm.
everything, and like, you were just at the start of your journey. Yeah, really, really great job. I So when did you add exercise in there, and did that mess with your diet at all?
So I added exercise maybe. I can't. It was either right away or within the first 2 weeks I did, and it was like February, March, so it was still cold outside. So I just went to the gym, and I think my first 2 weeks was like about 3 hours a week, and it was just walking on the treadmill and riding the exercise bike. So I had, and I don't know where this came from, but I had kind of convinced myself that, okay, like I have to be in this for the long term. Like I can't get hurt. I can't overdo it. Like, this is a lifestyle change. This is a long term change. Like, yes, I want to reverse this right now. And I was fortunate to be able to do that. But I have to look at this from a long term perspective. So I took it slow. A couple hours a week, just walking. And I had actually told myself, like, my goal was to start running. um, and at that point, I didn't know why. I just thought I'm just going to start running. I had ran, 10 years prior. Um, some races and things like that, and I had enjoyed it. Um, so I wanted to do that again, but I told myself I will start running when I lose 50 pounds. Um, so that was kind of like my first phase goal, kind of, if you will. Um, and um, yeah, I can remember it now. I had lost almost 50 pounds. I showed up at Complete Runner, get some new shoes, the first pair of running shoes in many, many years. And I saw Brad, and he was like, "Holy cow, like what in the world happened to you?" Um, and I actually ran my first my first recent 5K like that next day. Um, so
About how long did it take you to get to that 50-mile or 50-pound weight loss?
um, it actually wasn't very long. It was probably you 10 weeks maybe. It was actually very, very fast. Um, I mean, at the, I was, as I mentioned, I was, you know, nearly 300 pounds though. So I had a lot, to lose, but that first part came off very, very fast.
And so when you were working out about 3 hours a week, did you write yourself out a schedule?
I had at that point I was just kind of like I had just tried to do what seemed logical. I think I had read somewhere that recommended exercises like 90 minutes a week or something, 30 minutes 3 times a week, something like that. So I was like, well, that sounds good, but I'll double that. So my goal, I can do better than that. So I would go and I can't remember, I would probably walk just half hour, 45 minutes, and then try to get my 3 hours over a couple days. Um, and then and then that's what just as after a couple weeks, then I just said, well, I can get more time in, so then I did 4 or 5 hours, or and then I added some weights and things like that.
Yeah, and this was all just you doing your own research, no outside help coming in. Wow, that's really very, very impressive and very smart. Like you said, you didn't want to get hurt, and so you wanted to do this all the right way, and clearly you did, and it moved along really well. And then you go into Complete Runner, and you're like, I've like this is my gift to myself. I've lost 50 pounds. Now I get to run. So did you start running right away with Complete Runner? Like, how did your running start?
So if I remember it right, so I got those shoes and I ran a mile around my subdivision, and it hurt, but it was like that good hurt, knowing that I had come a long way just to get to this point. Um, so I was super excited, and I did what everybody does when they're super excited about running. I got online and I thought, when is the first race that I can sign up for? And it was the next day. Um, so this is probably the part of the story where I was a little too, maybe too impatient. Everything worked out fine in the end, but it was the next day. I showed up, ran a 5K, and I kind of used that in my mind. I used that like I need a starting point, right? Like this is my starting point. So I pushed it, for what I could do at that time, and it was very painful. Um, but that was my starting point in my mind. And ironically, um, and this is crazy. So 18 months later, when I did the 100 mile here, just in September, I ran it on part of the same trail that I ran that first 5K.
That's great. I wonder
That's
if
that's full circle right there.
yeah, I am blown away. Like a 5K to a 100 miler, and
In
like
18 months.
yeah. So I mean, most and obviously did, and you were sub 24 on your 100 miler. On top of that, a solo 100 miler, and first time, like obviously tons of talent. I mean, that's really good. I don't want to jump to the end of the story of that, but like that
Sorry,
just
but
so
I'm clapping for you. That is awesome. That is so awesome.
yeah, so for
Thank
everybody
you.
listening, like this is a huge transformation. So now you've done your 5K, that's your starting point. Like did you ever dream that you would be doing a 100 miler? Like did that come into your mind right away? Were you one of those type of people?
So I think at this point, so this had been, I just started running. I kind of gradually increased my running um, very patiently. Um, 10% rule, things like that. Like I wanted to be smart. I wanted to go long term. Somewhere in here, I think I started listening to Rich Roll, Scott Jurek, and kind of caught the ultra bug, from some of those stories. And they both were plant based and ultra athletes. And I just thought, man, it would be awesome to do an ultra, and I had done, 10 years before I had done some half marathons and that was my longest. And I was like, well, if I do this smart, I could definitely do this. And then somewhere in there, I got this crazy idea. I was like, man, like I'm on track to lose 100 pounds. So what if I ran 100 miles? And I was like, that's just insane. Like that's totally like, wow, like people are going to think I'm really loony. But I was like, what if, like, like people might tell me that that's crazy, but like, why do we live based off of somebody else's expectations? Like, shouldn't, like, we should be the ones that set our own limits, on what we can do. So I had really thought about it, and I thought, well, 100 miles is kind of nuts. Um, seeing that I just started running like a couple months ago for 2019. So I thought, what if I did 100K, which is still a major feat. But so I worked backwards. The 100K was in September of 2019. So I worked backwards and I put a plan together and I said, okay, I could actually do my first trail race, in June. In July, there's a 12-hour race. I could knock out my first 50K there and I could continue and I could get in September was the 24-hour race, so I could take as much time as I needed, to get the 100K. So that was kind of how that came about, and that actually happened, um, just like that. And then after that, that's where I started to learn about Hennepin, and I was like, you know, like why not do 100? So that's where that came about.
Wow. When so you this transition's just blowing me away. Like when did you became an athlete? Like you weren't just going to be a healthy lifestyle, like eating well, starting to walk. When did you know you became an athlete?
I, I guess I don't know. It's interesting that you put it like that because like I don't know if like obviously I am, but like I I don't know, like I don't really see myself as it's weird, I guess. Like I just, you know what I mean? Like I just, like all I know is that I have goals and dreams, and I just put together a plan, to help, make that happen. So I think sometimes, um, I I don't know. I would say probably I started to be because in all this training, like, and then COVID came and all this stuff, and that was challenging. And then I think this summer it just hit me like because I was planned on a marathon this spring and that never happened. I trained for that, and then with COVID and the stress of that, I was kind of just like, my training was okay, but it wasn't where I knew it needed to be, and I just kind of had to like do a reset and say, okay, like this is it, like Hennepin's coming up. Like maybe it's going to be canceled, maybe it's not, but I have to really kick it in. So this summer, I really took my training up to another level for me. So I would say that's, and that's the time where I said like I need to kick this up. So I would consider myself more of a athlete, I guess, at that point when I really got serious, because I knew that I had to do that. At least that's what I told myself. I have to step this up if I want to do this, and finish this 100.
So, what kind of goals did you think that you needed to get ready for? So, I mean, I'm amazed. It sounds like you're writing all your own plans. You've figured out this 10% rule. You obviously study really well. You're wanting, I imagine, to finish under the 30-hour cutoff. Like what was going through your mind of what you needed to work on, and how did you accomplish that?
Um, Good question. So I think I um, when I stepped it up, I knew that I needed, at least this is what I told myself, I needed more miles. And I had a very strong base going. I think so. In 2019, I probably averaged um, 40 miles a week after the first couple. When I got to my like base average, I was probably about that. Um, and that was enough to be able to, for 2019. But when I wanted to do the 100, I told myself like I need to get real serious about this in terms of mileage. So this summer, I had a lot of 80-mile weeks, um, a lot of like really long runs back to backs. It wouldn't be common, or it was common for me just to knock out a 50K, three like every weekend, in July, pretty much just to get ready. So I think for me, it was just putting in the miles. I didn't do much speed work at all, or anything like that. I tried to do everything at heart rate, um, because I knew that if I could keep that pace, that I could run all day, and that was the goal, to run all day. So
What about so you have a job? Like how did you juggle your job and weekday training?
um, it's really hard. So I loved it in the summer because I could get up really early and I could run really early, and it would be nice and warm and light outside. So I love to do that. And then it just, you feel so good and you just knock out the day, and it's just a great, my family's sleeping, so it's not impacting any time, things like that. So I super loved doing that. The weekends were challenging because, I could be, um, gone for 4 to 6 hours, on a long run potentially. So again, I tried to start early. Um, you know, um, I'm grateful for my family that they were understanding during this time, because there were a lot of times where if I didn't run in the morning, I'd come home from work and I'd say, I'm sorry, I need to run right now, so everybody ate and I was out running, so, but they were very supportive, and, they knew as well as I did that I needed to do that to get the goal. So,
Yeah, your family has to be very proud of you and very happy that you're going to be healthy and around for a much longer period of time now.
yes, yeah, for sure.
So yeah, so then let's go into you decide we heard how you are going to run the 100, how you got inspired, and then like I don't think we heard when you signed up for Hennepin and what was around that.
So after my 100K in 2019, that was September. So I had started thinking about what's next, and I started thinking about, well, let's do 100. And I was kind of looking at the calendar and looking at different courses and so forth. And um, I had found hennepin and it was flat and fast. So I was like, this is perfect. This would be a great first 100. Um, I don't really, I train a lot on the roads, and I thought this is just, this is perfect. And then ironically, I don't even know if I knew that Antonio was connected with you guys in the hennepin. So that was just kind of weird, how that all worked out. But I was like, this will be great. And I also knew that the hennepin was going to be my first 100 because um, it was this year. It was going to finish on my birthday um, on October 4th. So I was like, this is going to be perfect. This is like the perfect way to celebrate my birthday is to finish my first 100. So,
Oh, I wish that you could have finished at Hennepin on your birthday. October 3rd is Krystal's birthday, and so we were gonna have a birthday aid station.
uh,
So you could have had, well, you probably would have passed on the birthday cake maybe, but there would have been birthday cake and birthday songs at one of the aid
uh,
stations.
well, we'll have to make sure for next year. But
Yeah. Yeah. Are you
Oh
planning on
yes.
doing the 100 next year? You're gonna stay with that
I,
distance?
I, yeah, yeah.
Yes.
I mean,
Yes.
so one of the, I guess, like, I just, like, I was obviously disappointed that it was canceled. At the same time, I throughout COVID, I've tried to look at the pros, right, or the positives, and try to, you know, so if we would have had Hennepin, it would have been amazing. It would have been my first like real 100 race. It would have been an amazing experience. Um, but at the same time, the experience that I was afforded with the support that I had on this solo, with the help of Antonio and Complete Runner and the crew and all those guys, like I never would have dreamed about running a solo 100, a virtual 100, like because why would you do that? You know what I mean? So it's like so I feel very fortunate that I was, I guess, given the opportunity, to do that, and it was amazing. Um, and then when we can run Hennepin, I'm gonna do that and get that full experience as well.
Yeah, it's going to be a great experience. And I have, I feel like the aid stations pull you along. You'll probably be faster than you did it on your own. But I do want to talk about you doing it on your own and how, like, that is so much harder than anybody that's ever run an in person race. So you did a race. I just call one an in person and one a solo race, although you did have support, but there is nothing like not, like you get to an aid station, there's like 100 people cheering, and lights are on, and all kinds of food to cheer to, and you can hear it coming in, you can hear it going out. There's just a lot of distractions that really push you along on the course, and I want to hear about what your course was like and how you got through it for your solo 100. Like, did you have pacers? We want to hear it all.
So the course, Antonio and I kind of put it together, and we were kind of going back and forth, like where do we do it? Like, do we do a loop? Do we do point to point? Kind of thing. So um, about 30 miles from where we live, there's quite a few trails over in eastern or southeastern Michigan, and one of them is the Pollyann Trail, and about that's about a 35-mile trail. About half of it is crushed limestone, very well maintained, beautiful, and the other half is very undeveloped. So my joke would be, this is where the funding stopped. Like you can tell where the funding stopped. And that part was grass, single track, double track, stones, um, one part knee-high grass. So it was definitely the full experience to have, both of those sections of that trail. And Antonio had said that the limestone part, especially of the trail, was very similar, to Hennepin. So I think that was kind of a draw too. So then that was about roughly 70-ish miles. So then we actually found another trail, the Paint Creek Trail, that starts in Rochester, Michigan, and we ran that up and then ran a connector over to get to the Pollyant Trail. Um, so pretty much we ran the Paint Creek Trail and then Pollyant Trail all the way up and then back. So 50 out and then 50 back.
And so, and who all was there with you?
So Antonio was the man in charge pretty much of everything, logistics, pacers, crew, tailwind mixer, um, everything like that. So he was there for the full time, and I'm very grateful for him for that. Um, and um, and we had plenty of others, at least a dozen others throughout the day who were there. Brad was there for over half the day, crewing. I had several pacers. So pretty much the first 20 miles I was alone, and then from miles 40 to 55 I was alone. But other than that, I had somebody with me at all times, including people that just showed up that had heard about this from Antonio or from Complete Runner. I had no idea who they were. They showed up, and it was just so cool. My boss actually surprised me and showed up. And one of the most memorable parts was at about 11:30 at night. We had about 30 mile ish to go, and three other Ryans showed up to pace. So we called it the Ryan Party, and the Ryan Party lasted all night from there to the finish. So that was pretty sweet.
I think the Ryan party all needs to finish Hennepin together next year.
That yes, yes, for sure.
Is one Ryan Lysick?
Yes.
Yeah, he just said that Antonio sounds like a real class act.
Yep, that's
Okay,
for
Ryan
me.
Lysick, we're calling you out.
I need you as a pacer next year, Ryan.
So, I mean, I watched it on Facebook throughout the day. I was working, but I was watching your run. You know, like from Facebook, as everything on Facebook can look, it looked like everything was going really easy. I have a feeling it actually did, but like, like, how did it go? Like, how did you have to get through any big hurdles, or what was it like?
Um, so I mean, I had read before that running 100 miles is kind of like living a lifetime in a day. And I believe that I fully experienced that, which I think was amazing. You know, definitely highs, definitely lows. Um, it was abnormally warm, um, so that the heat was a little of a factor as well. Um, I mean, for the most part, like everything went very smooth in terms of the crewing, pacing, like especially at night. Initially, I was a little worried, like if there would be any sections where it would just be me alone at night, especially in the more undeveloped part. Just scared about tripping or something like that. Just being alone, or just obviously it's a lot harder at night when you're tired, to be running alone. But that all worked out perfectly. So there's probably a lot of things that could have went wrong that didn't. So I'm very, very fortunate about that. For the most part, my stomach, was fine. Um, for most of the time, some salt pills came to the rescue, especially since it was so warm. But I mean, for the most part, I guess I couldn't have dreamed you know, of it any better, from that standpoint. So.
And so you never had a part where you might have wondered if you were going to be able to finish, no lows like that?
Well, yeah, I definitely had some thoughts like that. It's, I think there's always that point. I'm trying to remember when. I think it was probably between mile 40 and 50. For me, it's kind of like it's almost halfway, but then it's like, what am I doing? Like this is dumb. Just you always get to that point. I think at some point, and um, that's where I think it really kicked in, like the whole life in a day, and just to see the highs and lows and to kind of, I think for me, I try to put it in perspective of like, this is obviously like a lifetime journey kind of in a day, but this is also like kind of like the last 18 months journey that I've had, and the highs and lows and the good, and bad. And I tried to put it in that perspective, as well, which helped.
So yeah, so it's 18 months from when you were diagnosed diabetic to when you became a 100-mile finisher.
When I 18 months when I like was serious and like, okay, like I'm making a change,
Okay.
to when I ran it.
Wow. That's really incredible.
That is wild. That's so cool.
And you blog about this. What's the name of your blog?
I've written some on Facebook. I have a page, Ryan Litwiller, pushing my limits. Um, I document some stuff. Um,
Yeah, I think everybody needs to follow you. And anytime we're having a low day, I mean, you are, you're a natural athlete, naturally strong minded. I'm so glad that you found this.
yeah, I am too, because um, I actually just read a quote on going around on Facebook the other day, and it said something like, it was pretty much like life is hard, and like for me, it's like, well, when I was diagnosed as a diabetic, when I was 300 pounds, like when I was taking medication, like that's hard, right? That's hard mentally, physically, everything. Like that's hard. What I've went through the past 18 months to get to this point, like that was hard as well in the same way. Like, but we have to choose our hard, and I would, much rather choose the later than the former.
That is absolutely
Absolutely.
perfect.
Absolutely. Wow. Like I'm just maybe I should just leave because like I don't know. I don't even know what to say. I just feel super blessed to be talking to you. First of all, Ryan. Second of all, like you're like a superhuman. I mean, 18 months, 18, a year and a half. That just proves to everyone that's listening that you can do it. If you're struggling, Ryan,
And
18 months, like you can do it, and it might take longer for you or whatever, but you can totally do anything you set your mind to. I just think it's absolutely incredible. Like I'm just,
and then
I
on
don't
top
even
of
know what
it,
to say.
COVID's right there in the
Right,
middle of it. So you
right.
managed to continue to stay positive and on track when COVID just knocked so many people back. And
Hmm.
and then like in your training, you were signed up for Hennepin. That was your big goal, but you had to have known. We've been watching races cancel all year. Like how did you stay mentally strong on your training with that?
I don't know, like that. I think it just comes down to my personality, and just like I had a plan, like I knew that I had to follow the plan, and I was just stubborn about it. Like it's hard to explain, really, but there was definitely lows, a lot of lows in that, time, because the marathon in the spring was canceled, and I had, my own little thing. I had some things in the summer that were going to be, 12-hour ultras or 50Ks or whatever, just to be used as training runs. Obviously, those are all canceled. So I just had to make the choice, like, well, I need to figure out a way to do it anyways, So I would just run a 50K by myself on the weekend, and and I guess I just never really thought about it. I just said, I have to do it, And then I had some people say, well, like that's crazy, like you just run 50K in your neighborhood, and I guess like I don't know any better, Sometimes it's just I guess maybe that ignorance is good, because I think sometimes we just either tell ourselves like you can't do that, or that's stupid, or you shouldn't do that, or you can never do that, and then we just don't do it because we've already pre-decided in our minds that we can't. But if that's not there, like there's nothing stopping us from doing that.
Yeah, that's great. I want to hear about your finish line. Like, what did that look like? It wasn't, huge lights and lots of people, but what did your finish line, 100-mile finish line, look like?
It, it was very, very memorable. So the last probably 5 miles, um, luckily it was like a 2% decline, going in, and 2% isn't a lot, but after that long, I could feel it, that it was a good thing. And like like this part just blows my mind. But so we I just um, anyway, so we get to that last part of the trail, and it's about 5 or 6 miles, and I just felt really, really good. And Anita was with us, and she was on her bike actually, and she turned up her music, and I just like got in the groove, and I just started going. And one of the Ryans, I think it was Ryan Lysick, he's like, he said something like, how do you feel? Like how do you feel about this pace? And I was like, I don't know if I can keep this up, but I feel really good right now. And and for a second, I wanted him to tell me how fast we were going. And then I said, hey, like, don't tell me how fast we're going. I don't want to know, because again, ignorance is bliss, kind of, right? Like I feel good. I'm just gonna run. And he's like, okay, okay. And come to find out, like the last probably at least 4 miles were probably the fastest 4 miles of the whole race, or the whole event. I think we were going about 10-minute miles at the end, and like I had thought we were probably going 12, um, but it just felt really good. So it was just so crazy, and I just kept on thinking like I finished the last 5K like a lot faster than my first 5K on this same trail 18 months ago. Like that just blew my mind. So that was really cool. A great way to finish. The whole experience. The finish line. Um, it, it was, I had about 4 or 5 pacers with me to run it in. So that was cool. The Ryans, and some others. There was probably about a half a dozen at the finish line, um, and it was, there was people, because it was pretty much morning at that time, so there was some people walking around, and they weren't sure what was going on, and they're like, who are these weirdos? So we kind of got some of those looks, but it was just really special, and just a great way to wrap up a full day.
Was there anybody crying?
So I'm really not sure. There could have been. All I remember is finishing and asking for my Chipotle burrito. Um, from the day before, I was really looking forward to that. So um,
Oh, I love it.
That's good. I always hear a good sign that you ran something right is if you can still eat afterwards. Because if you didn't take care of yourself, then you go like, oh, I can't eat. But if you took care of yourself, then you're hungry. So that's good.
oh, that never tasted so good at the end.
That's great.
I love that you don't remember. Like, I don't know if anyone cried, but I just wanted my burrito. Like, that is I like that. I like that.
I figured you were crying. I was crying listening to it.
Oh,
So,
I, honestly, I really don't remember. I just know that I probably went about 20 yards past the finish line and just took a second to like take a deep breath and tried to like take it in. Like, this is, like this is the moment. And then I turned around and then everybody was like, high fiving and stuff like that. And so,
yeah, that's incredible. 100-mile finisher. Yeah, congratulations.
Yeah,
What a
congratulations.
story.
thank you.
Holy cow. So what do you got? What are you training for now? How are you staying active or recovering maybe?
Right. So, obviously, the trying to run after that was challenging. I could feel that I did 100 miles, but um, when did I started running? I've been on a running streak since like March. So I think I ran like a mile. Like I finished on Sunday. I ran a mile on Monday, and that obviously wasn't pretty. But my theory was just I just need to keep moving, walking, and just keep going in a sense. Smart, but not. You know, I'm not going to take like a week or 2 weeks and just do nothing or something like that. Um, and actually after that, a spot opened up on a wait list for that 24-hour that the one that I did the 100K the year before, that was going to be in October this year, and a spot opened up. So I took it. So I actually ran another 100K 3 weeks after the 100. And
That's it. I'm leaving.
I felt really good. I improved my time by like over 2 hours from the year before. I felt really good. The hardest thing in that though was the mindset, because I hadn't mentally prepared for running that that much. You know what I mean? Like that close to the other race, where I had a whole year to kind of in my mind prepare for Hennepin. I only had a couple weeks to really think about this, so I got into some really low spots in that because I just wasn't prepared mentally, for it. But so that was interesting. Um, right now, so that was like 2 weeks ago. So right now, I haven't decided what's officially next. I guess obviously Hennepin next year, is on the calendar. So I'm just trying to, um, you know, just get in a good spot, settle into some sort of base, training over the winter. Hopefully, add in some weights, potentially, and then just kind of go from there.
And then Antonio wanted me to mention that you haven't mentioned that you have the FKT on that trail as well. So
So yeah, so the Pollyant Trail started to get attention early this summer as more people were doing FKTs, and there's some really fast FKTs on it going one direction. So it actually worked out that I covered the entire trail down and back. Um, so I had known this, when we were kind of planning it, but then I didn't know too much about FKTs in terms of like, well, how do I document this? And like, do I have to have two watches because I'm doing this in the middle of 100, So I was like, well, whatever, I'm just going to focus on the 100. So then we get done with it. And then Antonio's like, hey, he just got the FKT on on the out and back. So I'm like, well, I guess I better officially try to submit this now. Since Antonio was talking about it. So I just submitted that and got that. So that was kind of like a really cool bonus, for the 100. And the thing that Antonio did not say is that so he has it in his heart of hearts to run 100K He just did like a 50 miler at that event a couple weeks ago, and that was his longest. So he would love to do 100K. So I told him, I said, well, why don't you run the Pollyann, and I will crew you, and we'll kind of reverse roles. So why don't we do this next year, and then you can set the new FKT and take my place on that.
Oh.
So he said he's game for it. So I would love to do that and help him to see that, in the same way that he helped me. So.
Oh, I want to come for that. I want to come see Antonio
Mm-hmm.
do that. That's
I
great.
can't handle all this heartfelt, like amazing stuff. Ugh, my heart is gonna explode. Like I'm trying to like brace myself because I'm waiting to see what else you're gonna say, Ryan. Because like the universe is the limit, like beyond. You could do anything, anything. Like go do Moab 240. You could totally rock that.
No comment.
Are you thinking beyond
When's
100?
maybe?
So you're thinking of beyond 100? Like
Uh,
it seems like it would be obvious for you.
um, so I'm always thinking, whether it be longer, faster, multi-day, which would bring its own challenge. I'm always thinking, I guess. I guess I need to find the right challenge that is still good. Obviously, that pushes my limits, but is also good for our family as well. Because what I don't want to do is turn into, whatever, somebody that totally, dismisses everything and just goes 120% in on this, and then ends up losing everything in the end. Like, I'm not going to go there. So.
Very, very good. That's very thoughtful and
Yes.
that's great. Uh, do you have
Ugh.
anything else that you wanted to share?
Um, Not necessarily. I think, just like we've been talking, like, I think so many times, whether it be us or somebody else, just kind of sets that bar for us, and um, it, there's really no need, to. It's I don't know. There's just so much that, God has just given us the ability to move, to eat healthy foods, to transform our bodies, and it, like I truly believe that we're meant, to do stuff like this, but we have to believe it first.
Well, you're going to make a lot of people believe it. And Owl Star Stamper says that they're so proud of you.
Oh, that's my wife. Thanks, Michele.
Oh, she's a Michele too?
She is. Yeah.
Is she Michele with one L or two L's?
Two L's.
Oh, okay. Hi, Michele. Wow.
Man, I don't even know. Like, I feel like these stubborn 5 questions aren't good enough now. But I'll ask him anyways. So we do like unreal stubborn 5. It's just 5 questions we ask to get to know you a little bit better. And so here we go. Okay. You've like totally left me speechless, and that never happens. So, okay. Share one thing about you that people may not know.
So when my right when I graduated college, and so my wife and I were married, and then I graduated college, and then we went to Africa for about a month on a mission trip, and we were actually able to help a family build a mud house, which was a crazy experience.
Oh my gosh.
I know, but that's the best answer we've ever had on that question. Like, we need to have a contest of the best answer ever. Krystal, how are we handling this right now? Like, this is unbelievable. You're awesome.
Truly, like you and your family, you are a gift, a true gift. To be able to go to Africa and do that for her family is absolutely incredible. So I commend you and your wife for doing that. That is amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you, Michele. That's amazing.
That is amazing. All right. Question 2 is, what is something that you're looking forward to, be it running or anything in your life you're looking forward to?
So it's, I mean, I guess I'm looking forward to a lot, but at the same time, like, I'm not really sure what I'm looking forward to. I'm just looking forward to the future, if that makes sense. And
Yep.
I think maybe I'm thinking like that because there's just so much uncertainty, right now. But I'm just trying to have that mindset that, you know, every day is a new day. So just, looking forward to things like kind of the next year or whenever, we can do that. That next challenge, that next opportunity, to do something cool.
Awesome. Another really good answer.
I know. I mean, we're going to have like a Ryan Litwiller fan club here.
All right. What is your favorite hobby besides running?
Uh, Man, hmm. I mean, I run so much. That's pretty much all that I have time for, outside of, work and stuff. I'm, hmm. So like I really enjoy, and obviously we can't do this as much right now with COVID. I really enjoy traveling, and my wife and I have been able to go to some really amazing places, either through missions or um, through Michele's work, some trips that she's earned, in her company. So just traveling, seeing new things, it's truly incredible.
That's a great hobby. Traveling is awesome. Hopefully, we get to all do that very soon.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay. Who is the biggest influence in your life?
Um, I'd probably have to say a two-part answer on this. So I think first of all, I just have to give glory to God and um, just to Jesus for just giving me that reason, for life, for living, and so forth. Besides that, um, my wife just works so hard. So I guess in general, other than that, my supportive family, from my upbringing, my parents always supported me, to my family supported me during the last 18 months, and beyond. And my wife works so hard and she's so consistent. And a couple of years ago, she set some big goals for herself in her business, and they were big, scary goals and things that like she didn't. I don't think she ever thought she could do, but she set them, and we believed in her. And so I think that over the last couple of years, I've actually like absorbed like her habits and her consistency and things like that, if that makes sense.
Yep.
So I think that so that's been a major influence on me, and when it was time for me to start this journey, it just kind of transitioned. If it, I was kind of probably more prepared for that because of her. So
Oh, I love
That's
that.
amazing. Okay, that was another really good answer. So you're like winning on the best answers of all time right now. Not that it's a contest, but Ryan, like,
Every time we need inspiration, we're just going to have this little clip. And then we'll
mm-hmm.
be like, okay, I'm feeling a little down today. Let's watch Ryan's episode.
Yes. All right, final question. What is your favorite treat for a job well done?
um, so I found out about Ben and Jerry's vegan ice cream, and I have to say that it's it's been a game changer. Probably too much of a game changer. So it's pretty incredible.
What flavors do they have in vegan? Because I've seen like the dairy-free ones, but what are the vegan flavors?
So the same ones.
Oh, okay.
They get a handful from
Okay.
mint chocolate chip, cookie dough. Um, Somebody might be able to tell the difference. I cannot. So
Ice cream is ice cream,
it's
whatever, right?
especially after a long run. That's
Mm-hmm.
a hot run. That's a really good. Uh,
Absolutely.
One thing I forgot to ask, and I said at the beginning of the show, but I wasn't totally sure if I had saw old information. So, what was your total weight loss?
so it's been roughly about 90 pounds,
Okay,
give or take. Yeah. So
that's incredible. Really great.
That is incredible.
thank you.
Well, thank you, Ryan, so much for being here. I, I'm just totally speechless. You are incredible. Your family's incredible. The community that surrounds you is incredible. So we're super blessed to have you here. And we're so glad that you were able to talk with us. And like, I'm ready for bed. Like, I want to go to bed on like a positive note,
I worked
Yeah.
up in Michigan for a while, and I have to say, like Michigan, I loved going up there to work. Like I just went up there because I wanted to see everybody because you do live in a great community. Like I had some favorite running routes. I'm like, they're not really that big of a deal, but I just want to drive up there and go do them, even though it's a 6-hour drive for me one way.
Right. Well, next spring when Antonio does his FKT, you'll have to come out and then stop by Complete Runner, and we'll make a day out of it.
Yeah, let's do that. So
yeah, when I go to
it's-
Antonio, we're coming for your FKT.
and we need to do a podcast too while we're there.
For sure. Like when I go to Michigan, I usually go to Grand Haven, but that's where I stop. So I need to like keep going over, up and over to Flint to see you guys.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Ryan. And I just want to do real quick. We have a Patreon page. Go to the Dirt Trail Running Facebook page. There's a link there. You can join for as little as $1 a month. And we do like early invites to races, special swag, behind the scenes stuff. So come be a Patreon, support us. We really love everyone that's listening. We appreciate you guys. We appreciate all of our guests. And also, if you want, please leave us reviews on iTunes. That really helps the show. Give us suggestions if you have any. Tell me how annoying I am. We love any and all comments. So thank you to all of our listeners.
Yeah, and I wanted to let everybody know we have Courtney Dotwaller. She is going to be on the dirt on November 2nd. So that was a pretty big guest for us to get. She just got done winning the Big Backyard Ultra. And we are so excited and nervous. I don't know how we're just not going to sit there with our mouth open the whole time. Hopefully I can get words to come out of my mouth and ask questions. But
I don't know. I See, I don't even know what to say right now because Ryan's story has just completely blown me away. So it's probably going to be something similar when we interview Courtney. I'll just be like, what?
Yeah,
Where am I?
back to
Who am I
back
talking to?
inspiring stories. So
Absolutely.
yeah, it's just so exciting to see what everybody's done here during COVID and been creative. And I also wanted to give a shout out to some of our listeners. And there's one listener, John Cox. He did 54 miles just yesterday. And he posted a very thoughtful video on our Facebook page. And I just want him to know that, we're super proud of what he did. And he's very strong. He's very inspiring. And, I just want him to feel good and be happy. So we're happy with your 54 miles, John. Good job. And then also Robert Swidarski. He just ran 10 marathons in 10 days, and he's doing that to feed families Thanksgiving meals. Completely passionate about it. He was on Channel 5 News. Search that and watch that video. They did a great job videoing it, and it will touch your heart like this show does. And thank you, Ryan.
I want to add one more thing.
Okay.
Ryan, I'm so glad that you gave glory to God because, that is number one. I'm a Lutheran school teacher. I teach preschool, and my daughter also attends there. It is so important, especially during these times. I know not everyone is religious, but absolute amen to that. Glory to God. God is good all the time. So thank you so much for that.
Amen. Thank you.
Yeah, well, thank you, Ryan. We really appreciate it. Thank you, Michele, for letting Ryan be on our show tonight. And, what a show. Congratulations.
Woo!
Thank you, everybody, for listening. What a great audience we have. You have a lot of fans. That was fun.
You do.
Easy to see why.
Well, thank you so much.
Oh, and then I forgot, we're so starstruck. Duh. We forgot to thank my son, Royal, and Coach
thanks,
Loretta.
Royal.
Loretta's going to totally give us a C on this. We forgot to thank her. I'm so sorry.
Oh, she's not. She already gave me an A because I quoted the Beatles song for her.
It's Coach Loretta. She organizes the shows for us and books guests and keeps our schedule straight. She has us scheduled really tight for a while. And Krystal's not going to be getting much sleep. And then my son Royal does all the technical stuff. We couldn't do it it's a teamwork makes it happen, and we couldn't do it without everybody. So thank you, everyone. And thank you, Ryan. Good luck on your next run. And make sure you stay in touch with us.
For sure. Thank you so much.
For sure.
Yeah, we'll see you soon. Okay.
Bye, everybody.
Everyone. Thanks for listening.